Today we're going to talk about how to sit in meditation position. So they say to have a cushion because, and not to sit completely flat on the rug, even though the Tibetan monks sit that way, because usually your legs will fall asleep and it affects the way the subtle energy or the subtle winds operate in your body. So we have a cushion down. You know, everybody will like a different size and shape cushion, but I will warn you already, you will never find the perfect cushion. We always think that, you know, I'm uncomfortable when I sit because of the cushion. Our body is in the nature of being uncomfortable, so try and get the most comfortable cushion, but realize you'll never find the cushion. Okay, so there's different ways to sit. The optimum way to sit is in the vajra position. Some people call this lotus position. It's not the lotus position, it's the vajra position. So what you do is you take your left foot, and that goes on top of your right thigh, and then you take your right foot and put it on top of your left thigh. Okay? And so that is very good. It keeps you quite stable, you know, and keeps you very, you know, quite firm. If you can't do this with your legs, and many people can't, then you can sit in the half vajra. So just put your right foot down, keep your left one up here. Okay? If you can't do that, then sit like in the position that Tara sits in, where you move your left foot so it is flat on the floor, not on your right thigh, and then your right foot is flat on the floor in front of it. Yeah? If you can't do that, then sit the way we sat in kindergarten. Remember, just with your just with your legs crossed like this. Okay? So any way you can to be comfortable. But, you know, if you can do in the vajra or the half vajra, then, you know, go in that order, because that will make it good. Okay, so if we go back here to this one, excuse my past socks, what to do? Are they going to show in the video? Oh no. Okay, then you keep your back straight, yeah, which is very important. You know, for those of us who spend too much time on the computer, having a straight back can be a challenge, but we've got to practice. And that means, you know, also having it straight up here. Some of us who work on the computer, our heads go forward like this. Or people who have bifocals, often their heads are like this because they're trying to see out of the right part of the bifocal. But you want your back straight, you want your head straight. You can tuck your chin in just a little bit, yeah, because that helps straighten the back of your neck, but don't tuck your chin in too much. Okay? Don't hold your head back like this or roll your eyes back in your head. You'll only get a headache. When you put your eyes, yeah, they say it's good if you can to keep your eyes a little bit open but not focused on anything. So in the text they usually say kind of somewhere looking at the tip of your nose, but that sometimes can be not so comfortable. So if you just have your eyes, you know, down here somewhere, but you're not paying attention to what your eyes are seeing. Okay, it's just having them open a little bit because some light comes in, and when the light comes in, then you don't get drowsy. Okay? If your eyes close naturally, it's probably okay as long as you don't get drowsy. But it is helpful to have them a wee bit open, and often that it having that little bit of light come in can help too in the break time to see that you can continue with the meditative process even when your senses are functioning. Okay? Then with your hands, the right on the left, the palms are like that. Your thumbs are touching, so they form a triangle, and that is in your lap against your body. Okay? Don't have slouching thumbs. Yeah, it should be like this. And then your arms, if you are like that, then it's very naturally there's space between the side of the body and your arm. Okay, so you don't want your arms sticking out like chicken wings, and you don't want them flat against your body either. Okay, so you want your shoulders relaxed, yeah, but there's some space for the air to flow. Okay, so all of this together. Also, your tongue should be, against the top of your mouth. They say that prevents saliva from dripping if you happen to get really concentrated. I haven't had that problem, but it's a good thing to train in anyway. Okay, and so you're upright like that with your eyes just a wee bit open. So sitting like this helps the flow of the internal energy, which is very helpful for concentrating. When the lung or the wind energies are restless, then our mind also gets restless. Okay, so that's how we sit. If you have a physical problem or disability or whatever, and you can't sit on the floor, then they have the benches, meditation benches, where you sit with your legs tucked under the bench. So that's good too. It helps you keep your back straight. If you can't do that, then sit in a chair, but it has to be, really make it a chair with a straight back, so that again you can really keep your back straight. And most chairs kind of recline somewhat, and that's not so good because then your body gets too relaxed and not good for concentration. If you're in a chair, it should be an upright chair, and then have your feet flat on the floor. Don't cross them or cross your ankles or anything, or stretch your legs out. They should be flat on the floor. Yeah. If you can sit on the floor, do so. It's much better. If you really can't because of physical problems, then sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair just because you're kind of too lazy to sit on the floor, then check out why you're doing that, and see if you can gradually strengthen the areas of the body that need to be strengthened, so that you can sit in one way or another on the floor. Okay, so pressure from your right leg on where it meets the left leg. Yeah, at some point, it'll hopefully get a little bit more flexible or more comfortable. Yeah, it's very good to do some yoga or tai chi or qigong or stretching exercises. That's very, very helpful for learning to have your legs be more comfortable, and your back too. Yeah. So I really want to emphasize the sitting up straight part, because I look and some people are meditating, and I don't know if they're even aware, but their head's like this. Yeah, or their heads like this, or like that, or like this. Okay, so really, try and be aware of where, of having your head straight. Happy meditation.